So let's go ahead and start taking a look at color inside of Photoshop. Color is something you are going to use, whether it's a full colorful photo or design work, or even just working with black text. It's still color information that we see on the screen and through our eyes. So color is very important, and we want to make sure that we know how to use it inside of Photoshop. So the first thing we want to do is if you go to the top and you click on Image and you go to Mode, you're going to see all of the different color modes that you can select here. Right now we have the red, green, blue color mode selected, and we have other options. Now bitmap and duotone aren't great in right now because we're not using those types of files, but you can see we can change it to a grayscale image. We can have index color. We can use CMYK, like if we're doing anything for print, and then we can also choose lab color and multi-channel. We can also change the bit rate, so you can see we are working at 8 bits per channel, but we can also work 16 bits per channel and 32 bits per channel. Now this is going to be dependent on what you're using, so if you're using a print CMYK and you want to have a higher bit rate so that it prints nicer, that's okay. However, it will change the file size, so if you're doing something, say for web design, you'll want to leave it to RGB and use a lower bit rate so that the file size is a little smaller. So you can change those here in the image and mode settings. This will change it for the whole document that you're working on. So let's just take a look around at a couple other things regarding color, and then we'll get into more detail in this course. The first thing that you might notice is you have color swatches in the tools panel. So these are a foreground and background color that you can set and change and use them in different kinds of ways. If you change a color, so say we pick like a blue here, so I just clicked on that color swatch and I'm using the color picker to change this and I hit OK. If you ever want to go back to black and white, there's a button right next to it, and if you click on that, it'll immediately go back to the default black and white. You can also use a shortcut key X to switch between the foreground and background colors. So this is really great. If I have two colors and I hit X, I can switch out between these really easily. So if I have my brush tool and I'm painting on the blue, I can hit X and change it to the red and paint on the red, and then hit X again and go back. So X gives you the ability to switch back and forth between the foreground and background colors and speeds up your workflow. So that's a shortcut key you'll probably want to remember. You can also see that I have the color and the swatches panels on the right hand side. If you go to Window, you can see we have color and we also have swatches, and this gives us a lot of different color options. We can just pick a color directly here. We can move the slider up and down to scroll through those colors and make those changes. And then if we go to swatches, you can see that these are all the colors that we've used previously or all the colors that we have loaded in Photoshop, and we'll take a look at how we can load more colors here briefly. So that gives us those options. And then finally, you also have a color wheel that Photoshop provides. And if you go to Window and you go to Extensions, you can see we have Adobe Color Themes. If we click on that, it brings up a new panel that is an extension added recently where we can pick all kinds of different colors and different color themes for whatever we need. So here you can see we have Create selected, we have Wheel, and we can change these colors around, and by manipulating these, it gives us a color theme of 5 different color swatches that we can use and save for our design work. You can also go to Explore, and you'll see a lot of different color themes that people have already created, and this is a great way to fast track your design projects. So if you are having a hard time picking like colors together, you can come in here and choose some of these that some people have already made. So that gives you a brief rundown of some of the different color options, but we're going to go a lot more in detail in this course. So I look forward to seeing you in the next lecture.